Welcome everyone. Welcome into the video lecture series on Android application development. Today's topic of discussion is how we can develop an application for sending emails. So let's get started. I have already created a project. It's a new project and we will begin with the UI development. So in the user interface, what we will need is the to field for the user to enter to whom user wants to send an email. So that's why we have taken a text view. We have taken a text view and now we are fixing its constraints because we have used a constraint layout. We will set its text appearance to the large so that the text will appear in little bit larger mode. Then next we will take an email edit text. This is nothing but an edit text. Now most of you know what edit text means. Edit text is nothing but when user wants to enter something, then edit text field will be used. In the edit text field we have taken email as the input type. We are setting its ID now. ID is actually used when we will use that in a Java file to refer this particular component. Now once this is done, we will take another text view. This another text view is for the subject. So this is nothing but only text which will appear on the screen, and to it we will set its width to the match parent. We'll set it to the match parent so that the entire window screen will be occupied over here, and to the text we will set its field as a subject so that the subject will appear on the screen. Again we are using the constraint view, so we will set its constraints. Next we will set its text appearance to the large so that this particular text will appear in the large. The next we will take another edit text, and this time we will take an email address. Okay, so for that particular purpose again we will take email as input. This is nothing but the edit text input, and input type is email. We will set its dimensions and its constraints. And we will set its ID now, that is edit subject, edit underscore subject, so that with the help of this edit subject we can refer to this component from main activity.java file. Input type we are setting over here as a email subject. So here we got it to email subject. Text is by default over there because we are using edit text. So now all these parameters will be odd together. So we have created this another component, edit subject. Again we will need another text view. This is for to display a label message. So we'll set its text to message. We'll set its constraints. Done. Again its layout to match parent. So width will occupy entire window over here. And then again text appearance as a large. We're just setting it according to the screen size. Okay, now we will take another edit text, but this time we will need a multi-line text. So here is the multi-line text. drag and drop it on the screen. We dropped it. This multi-line edit text is actually used to enter multi-line input from the user. So basically in the message, user can enter multiple lines of input. We are just fixing its constraints. We are setting its constraints. Now we'll set its ID, edit_message. So with the help of this edit_message, we can refer this particular component from the main activity.java file. Well, it's done. The next thing that we will need is one button to send a message. So we have dragged and dropped this button on the screen. Okay, for the ID we will set button_send. So with the help of this button_send ID, we can use this component from main activity.java file. The text is set as a send, and again we are setting its constraints. Okay, we will set its width as a match parent, and again we will set its constraints. Okay, so finally we have done with the user interface design. Now we'll go into the main activity.java file, and here at first we will get the references, and before we getting the references of all the components that we have created in the user interface, we will first create the variables. So the edit text is the component edit text, and now we are creating its object. So we'll use edit text e_2 to point out to field of the user interface. Then we have another text edit over there, that is subject, so e_subject, and then we have another edit text on the screen, that is message, so e_message. So these are only the pointers, or you can call it as objects. Okay, later on we will need to reference it properly. Now we will create a object for button. If it is not available, just import a class by clicking import class. So the button class will be imported, and then we can use the button in our project. So b_send. Okay, now we have only created the objects, but the objects are not usable as of now because these objects are not having any references. So we will get the references now. So e_2 is equals to find view by ID, but before that we will actually have the typecasting, so that is edit text, then find view by ID. This is a method, this is a static method which actually uses to get the references from the ID. So r.id.edit2, edit_2. So from this particular line we will get the reference, and then it will be given to the E2. Similarly we will do it for the e_subject. So e_subject is equals to edit text is a typecasting, find view by ID r.id. Here edit subject, edit_subject. So we got the reference now. Again we will do it for the message, e_message is equals to, again this is edit text, so we will do the typecasting using edit text. Find view by ID is the method through which we will get the ID. So r.id.edit message. So now we got the references, and now these objects are usable. The next thing that we will need to do is the button. So we'll need to get the reference of button. So b_send is equals to, again typecasting will be required. So button, find view by ID, r.id.button send. So now all these objects are usable because we have got a valid references into these objects. Now we will set the action listener. So b_send dot set on click listener, new on click listener. So with the help of this particular method, we can set the action that we wanted to perform after clicking on the button. So the first thing that we will do over here is the email_send. So we are creating this particular method wherein we will write down the code to send the email. Okay, this method is not existing, so we'll create it now in the main activity. So the method is created. In this method, we will write down the code. So the very first thing that we will need to do here is to create strings from edit text. So the first thing that we will need is all mail IDs. So that is the recipient mail IDs that user has entered. So string recipient is equals to where we have stored it. So we stored it into the e_2. So e_2 dot get text dot toString. So by having this particular thing, we have taken whatever the things were available into E2 into the recipient. But as of now, the problem for us is that these given things are in a single string. We wanted to separate it out. So we are separating it out in the R list. String R_list is equals to recipient dot split, and by comma we want to split it. So that's why we will use in the double quotation comma. So wherever the comma will be there, that thing will be separated. Here we got the error. The reason because R list should be an array of strings. So we will do that. Now we will get the separate individual mail IDs from this R_list. Once it is done, the next string that we will have is a subject. So we will have the string subject is equals to, we have stored it in the e_subject. So e_subject dot get text dot toString. Okay, so we got the string in the subject. Now we need another string, that is a message. String message is equals to e_message dot get text dot toString. Well, we have done this. Now the next thing that we will need to do is to create an intent. I think everybody knows what is an intent. If it is showing underline like this, then we have to import the class. So the class is imported. Intent I is equals to new intent. We are creating an implicit intent over here. Then intent dot action send. So this is nothing but the implicit intent that we are creating. So with the help of this intent, we are going to invoke an activity which is an outside of this particular application. Okay, so with the help of I.putExtra, so when we are creating an intent, we want to send some data along with it. So I.putExtra intent dot extra email. So this is a key, and in that key we are going to send an R_list. Then we have the another putExtra. PutExtra is a method which is actually invoked when we are creating an intent, and when we are passing the intent. With the help of that, we can pass some data along with it. So the how we will pass the data, so there is a key along with the material or the data that we wanted to pass. So intent dot putExtra extra subject we have done, then the message. So for that, extra text comma and then message. This is in the form of string that will be sent. Next we need to set its type. So I dot set type, and this should be sent as a text. So it's a message comma, and we have to use an RFC protocol. So that's why RFC 822 will be the protocol that will be used to send this particular intent. Now this intent will actually invoke all possible applications which this intent can handle. So for that also we will need to use a create chooser. So we will have the start activity. So activity will be started, start activity. In that we have to pass on the intent. So intent dot create chooser. So this will create a chooser from which user can choose the possible application which user wants to invoke. So I is the intent and there is a title that select application to invoke. So this start activity will cause a window to appear on the screen which will show the user which application user wants to continue with. Well, that's it all about how you can create an email application using Android. Here we have used inbuilt email client in order to send or in order to create an email application. Let me know your views on it, and if you have any doubts, please drop your mail on given mail ID on the screen. Thank you so much for attending.